Okay, the recording is started.
Thank you. So nice to have a YouTube manager. He's good. He picked it up quick.
Yeah, righty then.
I need to learn too. I need some training.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, Madam Toastmaster, if you're ready, oh, wait a minute, Cassandra's got her hand up.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to make sure I had everything. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Righty then. As the interim sergeant at arms, I'm going to call tonight's meeting to order and welcome everybody. We have our meeting. It's going to be recorded. The recording's in progress. And with that, I'll don the hat of the president of the club and welcome everybody to the Thursday night Toastmasters Vision Masters meeting. Hello, welcome. By the way, I found out something interesting today. I'm sure many of you already knew this, but it's always interesting to learn a fun fact. So a couple of weeks ago, I was informed by a person as I was having a conversation that it was Chinese New Year. They were preparing to have a big family dinner because that's what they did for Chinese New Year's. So I took that information and like, okay, this is what they're going to do for Chinese New Year's. Well, today I found out that actually the celebration goes a couple of weeks. So they're still celebrating Chinese New Year's, and the big windup will be this weekend. I was unaware that. I thought it was over, like we do ours, next day, but apparently the celebration for the Year of the Dragon is continuing and we'll have the big windup this Saturday. So I learned something new. I'd like to welcome Cassandra to our meeting and thank you for being willing to be the evaluator for Dr. Wade. We've got some interesting speeches tonight, and I do not want to delay hearing the speeches any longer, so I will turn the meeting over to our Toastmaster for tonight, Wes Sahai. Weston.
Thank you, Mr. President and Sergeant at Arms. And good evening, everyone. And thank you for showing up today. I learned something yesterday as well. How many of you heard about Black Joy Parade?
About what?
Black Joy, what do you call it, parade? Like since we are in Black History Month.
Oh, yeah.
Since we are in Black History Month, business-minded people, Black people, has a parade on, I think, this Saturday, came from different nation or different states, and we have music and some kind of activities in the start downtown Oakland, and I never heard of it. I learned something. So I think this is the 5th or the 6th year. I don't know, but I'm gonna join this Saturday. So maybe we can mingle and we can meet some business people and we can enjoy the music, maybe enjoy the food. I don't know, enjoy the weather. I hope the weather will be good. And when it comes to our Toastmaster, the theme is a speech contest. First of all, I would like to thank Hans and Michelle to representing our club. Really, thank you so much. And the speech contest is a push you to go forward and make you to being uncomfortable, because the club level will be comfortable, but once you move up and we start to compete with other club, we'll see our true our true ambition or our true like talent, because if some people they find out if they want to be like a speaker or like a motivational speaker or coach or something, they'll find a way to connect with other people and learn from others, and they get so many feedback. So the speech contest are really good, and I really appreciate representing our club, and I guess I will support you. Our speech, I think area level is, I think February 26th on Monday. So we're gonna come to support you, and no one is winner, no one is a loser, just practicing. And I compete with myself, because every time if I participate, I'm competing with myself. Because when it comes to, even I remember one time, one lady, she lost for 1 second. She was a good speaker and she lost for 1 second, and she quit Toastmaster because of she was disappointed. But it doesn't mean she's a loser because of the time. So many factors at that day, you might not be to level what you want, number one, number two. But if you deliver what you want, if you give your speech, especially if it comes from your heart, and if you connecting with your audience, that's the most important thing. And just be yourself. Then that's my thing, and we're gonna support you, we're gonna love you. And at this point, I would like to invite our club coach as a general evaluator at the same time to tell us some jokes. So invite your team, and if you have any joke, another joke, just tell us, and back to you.
Well, it's interesting that you should ask that, because a couple of years ago, I was asked to help with a contest for high school students, a speech contest for high school students that is put on every year by the Lions Club. And since I was one of the speakers, they asked, one of the judges, they asked all the judges to tell a little bit about themselves and say something. So when they asked me to get up, I said, since this was all a club of lions, I said, why should you never insult a lion? Because you might hurt its pride.
That's cute.
Chuckle.
That's pretty good. As we're getting ready to move into March, Scott. Okay, Mr. GE.
Okay, so tonight we have our evaluation team. We have Kuwaza as timer. We have, I'm not sure do we have anybody as odd counter? I can't remember. I think we're gonna pass on the odd counter, but you can try to use the word of the day, excellence. And then we have 3 evaluators. Evaluator number 1 will be Hank Cartwright, evaluating Kuwaza's speech. And evaluator number 2 will be myself, and I will be evaluating Barbara's speech, number 2. And then evaluator number 3 will be Cassandra, and she will be evaluating Wade's speech. Evaluation of feedback, okay? So with that, we go back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Point of order, just real quickly. As timer, I'm reviewing the agenda. All of the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. Is that correct, Dr. Wade?
That's what I'm seeing, yeah.
Barbara?
5 to 7.
So all the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. So at 5 minutes, we'll be showing the green.
Mhm.
At 6 minutes, we'll be showing the yellow. At 7 minutes, we'll be showing the red. And that will be an indication that the speaker has 30 seconds to complete their speech. Do we have a table topics tonight?
Table topics master. I've got, let's see, Wade. Wade is down for table topics master.
For table topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, you'll see the green. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, you'll see the yellow. At 2 minutes, you'll see the red with incentive encouragement to wind up in the next 30 seconds. For those who are evaluating speeches, the evaluation time frame is 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, you'll see the green. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you'll see the yellow. At 3 minutes, you'll see the red, and that's encouragement to wind up your evaluation. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. That is one of the roles of the evaluator, is to introduce the timer and ask him to explain his role. So thank you for making that point of order and taking care of that. And I think at this point, since we don't have a counter over Marion, I'm going to return the time back over to our Toastmaster Wasahai.
Thank you, Mr. GE. If I hear the word of the day, I'm going to count. And if I hear any ums and ahs, I can count. Other than that, I will not be the grammarian. Before I introduce our first speaker, I would like to, I think we had 2 guests, and I don't know. They dropped. Oh, Juan? Hello.
Yes.
Good
No.
to see you again. Hi. Would you say hi to us? Yes.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up and joining us, our club tonight. Thank you. I appreciate you. Kuwaza, could you time you? I have the timer. I can time your speech if you want to.
Oh, that would be very good. Thank you.
Okay, I will time your speech. And before I introduce Kuwaza, I would like to call his evaluator to give us his objective. Hank, can you tell us what his objective is?
Yes, tonight I'll be evaluating on aspects such as clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, audience awareness, and comfort level, and general interest in the topic. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Muted.
Oh, Wesson, you're muted.
Thank you. I was speaking, I was introducing Kuwaza. I will start over. Kuwaza Imara, effective coaching and level 3, connecting your audience, 5 to 7 minutes. The title of this speech is Speaking Better. And Kuwaza Imara has been a member of the Vision Masters, Toastmasters Club since its inception in 2011. He has held officer's position of Vice President of Education, Treasurer, and currently the President of the club. Also, he serves as a Sergeant at Arms. He has achieved his CC Competent Communicator, I believe, award and is completing working of effective coaching path. He has competed in the area contest for evaluation and has represented his club in the fall speech contest. Kuwaza appreciates that Toastmasters not only affords the opportunity for one to become comfortable sharing their ideas through speaking. It's an opportunity to appreciate and practice the nuances of language. I'm sorry if I didn't say it right. Language when communicating verbally. To speak before others is an opportunity to not only share one's thought, but to inform, inspire, and to uplift one's audience. Kuwaza Imara, speaking better, Kuwaza Imara.
Thank you for that introduction, Wesson. The title of my speech is Speaking Better. For those who are strict grammarians among our audience, they may have a little cringe when reading that or hearing that, as that is not exactly the proper English. There are those who would say, if you're going to have that as the title, you may want to make that the real infinitive, add a to in front of that, and cut out the ing, to speak better. I purposely chose that title, however, as I had an idea that for those who were Toastmasters or practicing speaking, the title would get your attention. And once it got your attention, you would wonder, what is this person going to say about speaking better? Or more precisely, how to speak better. All of us want to speak better, or more precisely, we all want to be able to speak in a way that will convey what we want our listener to hear, whether it's exchanging information, letting them know how we feel, or just sharing in general conversation. We want to know how to speak better. In Toastmasters, we learn how to craft a speech that will engage our audience. We learn that there are 3 parts to the speech: the beginning, the middle, in which we build upon the content, and the end of the speech, which is a summation of our beginning and the middle part of our speech. This is the construction or construct of a speech: beginning, middle, and end. What we say in that speech has to be consistent. In other words, we should not start to talk about the weather in the Northeast and then do a very sudden segue to the crops growing in Southern California. We need to have a consistency in our speech. Here are a few tips in terms of giving a good speech. Make sure that your introduction is relevant to what you want to say. For example, for many people, starting a speech with a joke can be a way to relax the audience, to have them engaged, and to also relax the speaker. However, humor should be used judiciously. If you are going to tell a joke that might be better suited to stand up in Las Vegas, it might not be the best opening for a speech about caring for elderly dementia patients. That's just a suggestion. So have the beginning of your speech relevant to what you're going to say. The audience will be listening for what you're going to say, and it's an opportunity to connect with the audience, to draw them in as to what you're going to say. When we move from the introduction into the middle of the speech, try not to be overcomplicated. It's okay to keep the concepts simple, to keep the language basic. You want the audience to be with you, to follow you as you give your speech. Many times, some speakers feel that as they are in front of an audience, they have to show their linguistic prowess. Be gentle with the audience. You want them with you. You want them supporting you as you give your speech. When you give the speech, in the middle of the speech, give content that the audience can relate to. Stories are a very good way to engage the audience. You can draw from your own voice, your own wisdom, and your own experience. The audience will be relating to this. For example, if you are giving a speech and you bring in the story, that reminds me of the time that I borrowed my dad's car and we were going to do a little joyride from the Bronx over to the Jersey Shore. However, we took a detour by Atlantic City. That calls in the audience. They can relate to experiences that might be A, embarrassing, B, opportunity for parental involvement. It's a time when you can bring the audience in again. It's a good idea because it includes something personal. When giving a speech, you've done the introduction, you've gone through the middle of your speech, you have explained what you wanted to explain, you've drawn the audience in. As you conclude the speech, go back to the introduction. What did you say in the beginning that drew them in? Was it a statement, an idea, a concept? Go back to that. When you are going back and reinforcing what you said during the speech, the audience feels a better connect. These are a few basic guidelines in terms of constructing a speech and being able to hone that speech to be a better speaker. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, Mr. Timer, can you give us 90 seconds for evaluation? Let me give you your time.
It should be 90 seconds, huh?
Oops, sorry. Yes, that is.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope everybody give a feedback. Okay, now our second speaker is Barbara, and her evaluator is our general evaluator, Mike Puren. Can you give us her objective, please?
Oh, okay. So Barbara's speech is evaluation, or excuse me, let's see, research and presenting from her pathway presentation mastery. And the purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech. And this subject, I know she's been researching for 40 years, so she's ready. The member will present a well-organized, well-delivered speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech and content and style should work together. The project is not a report on the content of the research and presenting project, but it's about an experience that she's had. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Her introduction. Barbara Mariano is a returning Toastmaster and joined the Vision Masters in August 2023. Barbara became a Reiki master in 1989 and has been teaching Reiki for 45 years. She is animal intuitive communicator. She has been working with animals and their people for 45 years. She had a cable TV show called Speaking of Animals, and she was a regular guest on KVMR radio as an animal psychic.
Wow.
Barbara Mariano, Buddy the Wonder Dog, Buddy the Wonder World Dog, Barbara Mariano.
Okay, thank you very much for that great introduction. So I'm in love with animals, and I have been since I was young. People, not so much back then. The animals were my refuge growing up at times. And I imagine all of us have had an experience with a special animal. And if you haven't, I hope you do. So I want to give you a couple statistics on the animal situation, the dog situation here in the US. 60% of the US households own a pet. That's a lot of pets. In fact, they're the most popular pet in the US. 65.1 million US households own a dog. Millennials make up the largest percent of current pet owners. Well, I've been working with animals for 45 years, and the owners come in all ages. And what I've learned over the years is people are really concerned about their pets. If they're feeling out of sorts, if something's wrong, they want help. And it's really taken me on quite an adventure all these years. I'd like to share the Buddy the Wonder Dog story with you again. I got a call from a client. This was 2 or 3 years ago, and she was just frantic because her sister had this dog, and the dog almost attacked her in the backyard. And if it wasn't for a chair, she wouldn't have been able to, she was sure she wouldn't get out of there in one piece. So she wanted me to communicate with him, see if I could help, because the fear in her case was that she would never get to see her family because she didn't dare go near the house with a raging dog. So I did some work with Buddy. I think we did when I say did some work with Buddy, I live, like, say, in Sacramento. My client and I were on the phone and or Zoom. And as I was tuning into Buddy and finding out what happened, why he was like that, she filled me in with a little bit of detail that he had been a dog who had grown up in a illegal dog fighting ring. And he was trained to fight. So naturally, if he thought she was the intruder in the backyard, he was going to do something about it. So in other words, the dog is innocent here. And he was just defending his place. So, but my job as an intuitive is to tune into what I call higher guidance. My team, my spiritual team, the Reiki energy, sending healing energy to this poor dog and to my client, of course. And as I tuned in, he said, "Why don't you let me die? I'm sick." So what had happened is he was apparently thrown out of the ring and left to die. Rescue picked him up. These lovely folks what do you call it? Trina, adopted him. He was wonderful with them because they were his saviors. However, any intruder was very, very bad. So here we are with all these wonderful pet owners, I don't think it was 65 million pet owners. And then we have a select group of illegal dog fighting rings that are not, they're hidden from, regular public view, but it goes on everywhere. So I'm here to speak on behalf of dogs like Buddy about this horrible crime, really, against an innocent animal that has no choice, who was raised from the ground up like Buddy was. He was innocent puppy. He was birthed in that lifestyle. And I think even though it's a terrible subject to have to face, I think it's something to bring to our awareness, as well as honor all of the lovely people and wonderful people that, including probably all of us on this call. We want to do wonderful things for our animals. So my job is, as an animal communicator and a Reiki master, is to bring healing to situations like this. And in the end, Buddy became best friends with my client. How did it happen? Well, I call it magic and miracles. How it works for me is I tune into higher guidance. I send the Reiki. I tune into, like Buddy, mind to mind, heart to heart, send energy, and he feels that I'm there to help him. How does it work? Intuitively. The good news is they became best friends, and he unfortunately took on an illness because he was ill in the first place from the fighting, and he did pass away. But he passed away becoming great friends with my client, where she thought she would never get the chance to be close to him. In fact, that she would never get a chance to be with her family. So my goal and mission here is to help any animal I can, anytime, anywhere in the world. And I'm so happy to be here and to talk about this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. timer. Our timer, can you give us 90 seconds? And in the meantime, I believe we have two guests, Mohini. Hello. Hello, everyone.
Oh no. Oh, we have a guest. Okay.
Yeah, we have a guest. Well, we have, yeah. Can you say hi to us, please? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Mohini Ramalingam from Coimbatore, South India, and have been a Toastmaster for the past 4 years. I'm happy to join your meeting today as a guest.
Thank you. Who invited you? Who gave you this link?
I had this link before in Toastmasters of India or Leaders Worldwide or one of those links. I think I've attended earlier. I'm not very sure. DTM Cynthia Scott.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Lisa Thompson, DTA. If you can you say hi to us, please, if it's possible?
Thank you for asking me to say hello. I'm exhausted. I'm laying down. So it's been a crazy day. I had a contest and then I had my training, and the training was like an hour nonstop of talking, and I just had to lay down. So and then I've been messaging with people that have been saying how wonderful it was and asking additional questions, and we had a great turnout. It was really wonderful. So I just saw you guys were on, and I decided I'd pop over to say hello, but I'm kind of like only half here. But Mohini, we saw you the other night at our club, so it's nice following you around. And thank you. You're muted.
Thank you.
Same here,
So,
Lily.
yeah, Rosemary had come over to ours and actually had a chance to participate. So it was nice seeing her there.
Time.
And yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for both of you for joining us tonight. Okay, we're gonna move to our third speaker. Our third speaker is Dr. Cartwright. His evaluator, I believe, is Cassandra. Do you have his objective right now, or you will let him to?
Sure, I'll give you what I have.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Dr. Cartwright. Speech will be taken from Pathway Team Collaboration, Level 1, Evaluation and Feedback. The name of Dr. Cartwright's speech is Getting Ready for a Contest. Dr. Cartwright's speech is Getting Ready for a Contest. Dr. Cartwright, take it away.
Let me thank you, Cassandra. Let me introduce him. I have a few introductions.
Okay, sure. I apologize.
No worries. Thank you. I appreciate that. Introduction, Dr. Cartwright. Wade Cartwright is a medical doctor specialized in otolaryngology in Oakland, California, USA. He has been in a Toastmasters since 2014 and has served in several club officer and area director positions. Dr. Cartwright is a VP Vice President of Membership and Secretary of Vision Masters. He is also the Vision Master Speechcraft Coordinator. Dr. Cartwright, getting ready for contest. Dr. Cartwright.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you for this opportunity of speaking to you or before you again. This speech is a practice speech in preparation for a speech contest. How best can I practice, but before my peers and people who are trained evaluators and know the basis of speaking. This speech is in the form of a story that I'm hoping that you will enjoy. This story goes back way back to 19 in Ann Arbor, Michigan, when I was a sophomore in medical school. And the day of the speech, my wife decided that she would celebrate her birthday and take a day off of work and go to her obstetrician who with the plan of going into the hospital and delivering a child all on the same day. Can you imagine that? So she went to the doctor, and the doctor, we found out later, had a tennis date that afternoon. And he examined her and said that the baby wasn't quite ready to come out. So he sent her home. And as soon as she got home, she gave me a call and she said, I really think that this baby is ready to come. So won't you come? So I came and gathered her things, put them in the car, and we headed out towards the hospital. The hospital was about 20 miles away. We lived in Ypsilanti, Michigan at the time. That was right next to Ann Arbor, Michigan. So we got almost to the hospital, about a couple miles away. And at the time we were behind the Phi Chi fraternity house. The Phi Chi is a medical fraternity. And my wife said that the baby's coming. So I stopped the car and I saw two of my classmates and who were also Phi Chi members who were in the backyard of the Phi Chi house and waved them over and they came over. They came over and as soon as they found out what the situation was, they agreed to help. So one of my classmates jumped in the front seat and the driver's seat and drove the car, and the other one jumped into the front passenger seat and held my wife's hand, and I got in the back seat and I tried to assist with the delivery. It's a fancy word for catching the baby before the baby hit the floor. But anyway, I was really prepared for this. As a sophomore, we had no clinical training, but we did have physiology training. There's this great physiology book that is still in print that you learn a few of the basics about various body systems and how they function. So I was not nearly an expert in obstetrics, but anyway, we drove to the hospital and the baby came out and I caught the baby and I was very excited and tried to remember all the things to do. The baby wasn't breathing at first. At least I didn't appreciate his breath, so I did all the maneuvers that I had seen in the movies and so forth. And there was still no breathing. When we got closer to the hospital and we arrived in the parking lot of the hospital, the nurses came out to gather the baby after they found out what the situation was. by the time we got there, there were some very shallow signs of breathing, and a couple of minutes later there was a weak cry, and a few minutes after that there was a strong cry. So I felt quite relieved, and the nurses came out to receive the baby in a blanket, and started to take the baby away. And I said, well, wait a minute. In my excitement, I really didn't do what I was really interested in doing, is so I took a peek in it, and lo and behold, it was a girl. But you won't believe this. It was my wife's birthday, and of course it was my daughter's birthday too. And she did take a day off of work for all of this to happen. But I don't, please, everyone, do not let her know that I talked about her on Toastmasters, because she might not enjoy the fact that I did not give her permission to tell this story. So having said that, and I do see a red flag, I'm going to say back to you.
Thank you.
Madam Toastmasters.
Thank you. Mr. Timer, can you give us 90 seconds, please?
$90 seconds on the clock. $90 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Thank you. To three of you for the great speech, especially two of you is timely speech, because we are at the time of the speech contest. I guess they got some tips how a good speech should be, because sometimes it's not how the speech is good, but if it's not relevant or if it doesn't meet the criteria, might not be qualified. So we have to know the rule and the regulation and what is important. And thank you. I hope you get some feedback, good feedback or a good tip. I'm talking about I'm telling to Hanks, because he's our representative for our for speech contest. This point, we're gonna move the second part of our Toastmasters program, which is a table topic time, and we have 1 to 2 minutes, minimum 1 minute, maximum 2 minutes, and Dr. Cartwright give us some question, especially people who don't have any role. can participate. And Dr. Cartwright, give it away.
Thank you, Wesley, for that introduction. This evening, actually about 20 minutes ago, Cynthia asked me to do table topics, and I said I'm not prepared. I told myself, but then I reached down in my pocket and found something that I have used before and I could use again for table topics. And I'm going to share that with you, and you can use it in different ways. And it's always of value in Toastmasters. It's the Toastmasters core values. Can everybody remember what the Toastmasters core values are? Let me give you a mnemonic for
Integrity,
Respect, integrity,
integrity,
and
respect,
service and
service,
excellence.
excellence.
Okay, great. Okay, well, apparently we don't need a mnemonic. But anyway, my mnemonic is IRS, Internal Revenue Service, and if if you don't do your excellence, they will do theirs. But anyway, so let's work with the core values. Let me pick on someone to participate and to demonstrate excellence in. Let me pick on our coach, who is who's going to demonstrate to everyone how table topics goes. So Mike, pick out a core value and talk about it. It's your choice.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Well, Kuwaza mentioned dementia, and that's one of my core values at this time. I'm a little concerned about that. I had a volunteer thing I was supposed to do last week, and I needed to prepare a lunch. So I have this real nice lunch container, Titan lunch container I got from Costco, and got my lunch all ready. And I do this like every week. And so I usually get it all ready, put it in the fridge, and then I'm ready to go in the morning. I got up in the morning, I couldn't find it. Well, I store this lunch container in the hall closet up on the shelf. And what I had done is I prepared this lunch and then I put it back on the shelf in the hall closet. I was so embarrassed. This dementia is catching up with me. Now, this reminds me of a story about an older gentleman who was having a lot of health problems. And his wife took him into the doctor. And the doctor took the older man in and gave him some tests and talked to him and poked and prodded and took his blood pressure and heartbeat and sent him back to the waiting room and asked his wife to come in. And his wife said, well, how is he? And the doctor says, I'm afraid your husband is really, really in bad shape. In fact, if you don't wait on him hand and foot 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, he is just not going to make it. He's probably not going to make it. And she said, okay, thank you, Mr. Doctor. And she walks out, gets her husband, puts him in the car, and they start driving home. And the older gentleman asks his wife, well, what did the doctor say? And his wife said, you're probably not going to make it. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Well, I started to say thank you for your table topic, but I'm going to thank you for leaving all of the 4 options on the table for someone else to speak to. So let me go to who else is dying to speak?
We have two guests.
I'm not dying, but I would like to speak. I can't get on camera.
Okay, okay. Well, take one of the core values and take it away.
When I think about the core values of Toastmasters, I want everyone to know if you have integrity, respect, and you're a servant leader, excellence takes care of itself. You've done all the things to create excellence, and it becomes a core value that can stand alone. Because when you show up as your authentic self, excited about Toastmasters, pathways, and all the things that it can do, once you embody those first three core values, you are automatically catapulted into a state of excellence. And the people that are around you will see how excited and dedicated you are. And it's almost like they say that thing about a smile. It's very difficult for you to smile at someone and they return that smile with a frown. When you show up in your authentic self and you have embraced the first three core values, excellence is what is left. And it shines so brightly because you are embodying the core values of Toastmasters International. I rest my mic.
Thank you, Marie, for that thought about the core values. It's the first time that I've done this several times, and this is the first time that someone has put them all together and spoke to all four of them at the same time. So thank you for your speech. I really appreciate that. So who
Thank
else?
you.
Who else is? Let me pick on somebody who doesn't have a role.
Wang and Mohani, they don't have a role. So if you have two questions, maybe
Who doesn't have a role?
Huang and Mohini. We have two guests. Three actually. Lisa too. We have three guests. You pick.
Okay, let's go to Lisa and to see if she wants to take one of our core values and speak to it for at least 1 minute, no more than 2 minutes. Hello, Lisa.
There. All right. Okay. All right. I'm ready. So I'm gonna pick service.
Great. All right.
And I'm gonna talk about roles and responsibilities.
Oh boy. Carry
As
on.
as you know, I joined Toastmasters in November of 2020, right before the pandemic started, relatively speaking. And that May, I was asked to be the secretary of the club that I was in. So that was my first officer role. And since then, I've held a number of officer roles as VPM, VPPR, VP. No, I guess I wasn't that one. President. And then last year I was the area director and I received presidential distinguished for area director because 4 of my clubs finished presidential distinguished. And then this year I've continued to be president in one club and VP membership in another. And now I'm the assistant division director. And I understand that when I gave my speech to you the last time that I didn't really cover the principles of leadership particularly well. So service is really not just about doing the role. Service is about being the best leader you can be in the roles that you serve in. And my style of leadership is really setting an example and having the ability to collaborate with a team in order so that the role and the team connect. And I think it's a learning process. I don't think that I was born a leader. I think I've learned to be a better leader through providing service to my clubs, my area, my district, and now your district. And I welcome that opportunity. I would encourage you to do the same as my takeaway, and I rest my mic.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for that. That's very encouraging.
Thank you for the question.
Okay, super. Who else doesn't have a role?
Huang.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Kwang, why don't you pick out our favorite core value and speak to it?
Yes, thank you so much for asking me and having me in this meeting. I'm Hương from Vietnam. So I'm so excited to be here with you with a Toastmaster meeting. Whenever I see the link from Sister Cynthia and some members invite me to join your meeting. So this meeting is very meaningful and very distinguished. I think I can gain and learn a lot of things from everyone here. And the environment is very friendly, and you are lovely and amazing speakers to talk about different areas and topics, various topics for me. And every meeting when I jumped in, I get to know a lot of information, knowledge from you guys. Thank you so much. And the second thing I want to say, I would love to join you more. And please invite me in the future and guide me how to be a proper Toastmaster or the member. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have one more member on the way. That's good. Kwang, spell your name. I don't see it on the G Huang, Huong.
Yeah, Hong is my name, Vietnamese name.
How do you pronounce the last part of it?
Yes, Nguyen. Nguyen is
Nguyen.
my family name in Vietnam. It's very popular. Nguyen.
Okay, I've seen that name spelled so many different ways. It's confusing.
Yes.
I thank you for your participation.
You're welcome.
Madam Toastmaster, how much more time do we have for table topics?
We have one more guest, so Muhani, if you have one question, please. We have one more guest from India.
Okay, and who is that? The name of our Indian guest?
Can you unmute yourself? We can. Yeah, thanks.
Mohini.
Mohini?
Yes.
I don't see a name to get any spelling. Mohini. So anyway, unmute yourself and say hello to us and pick out one of our core values to speak to.
Hello, everybody.
If you like.
One of the core values I'm recently interested in and working on is mentoring. And I think that belongs to the category of service. I see a lot of youngsters who join the club having language issues, and they find it very difficult to prepare their CV and attend interviews. Of course, the various lots of factors go into it, like lack of confidence because they don't have the language. I'm ever grateful to my parents who allowed me to study in a convent school in the Nilgiris when I was a child. To this day, I'm very grateful to them for having given me an education which stands me in good stead today. Why do we use a language? It is not just to communicate. At this age, I have realized that I'm able to help out so many youngsters who have not had this advantage of having a good convent education. So I dabble a lot in mentoring students, and down the line, I realized I've begun to enjoy it. When I'm able to impart something to them, it makes them not only better persons, it gives them more confident when they come to the club and give their speeches. It takes a lot of my time and a lot of perseverance and effort. But then the core values of Toastmasters, respect, integrity, excellence and service all comes into mentoring. I'm happy for taking on the mentorship of a couple of students in various clubs. And the journey is really excellent and very rewarding. So I think mentoring and giving service to our own Toastmasters youngsters, and not only the Toastmaster youngsters, I have my maid's daughter who wanted to become a nurse. And then I tutored her every day whenever she came home. I tutored her in the language. And after she developed some language skills, she became very confident. So I realized this not only helps them communicate, it gives them confidence and an inner strength to face the world as such. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mohini, for participating and for your wonderful speech. I'm glad that you are demonstrating service with your coaching and your mentoring. Continue to do that. And if you want to join another club, please consider joining our club. Or you can just continue coming to our meetings.
Yes, I will. Yeah. Please join me in your WhatsApp guest group, please. I'd love to join. Thank you so much.
Okay, now for anyone who wants to, who's interested in joining, please give me your contact information in chat so that you can be contacted.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So having said that, let me rate all of our table topics participation, and we will have one winner, and this one winner is everyone who participated, because you're all winners. You're all winners.
All
Thank
winners.
you.
Thank you.
And back to you, Madam Table Topics.
Thank you, Dr. Wade. That's excellent question. Thank you, all of you participating for table topics. And I agree with Mohini. It's not just speaking, it's built pure confidence. And when I joined Toastmasters, I got the confidence, I got the freedom. I can say freedom to me, because Toastmasters not just improving public speaking, it's more than that, beyond that. So thank you for your service. I really enjoy your speech. Thank you so much. And now, okay, you. Thank you. And now we're going to move the third part of our program, which is the evaluation part. Then that program led by our club coach, Mike Prent. Take it away.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and welcome guests and members to our club to the evaluation section of our meeting. We have 3 evaluators tonight. And our evaluator to evaluate Kuwaza's speech on connecting with your audience, speaking better, that will be, let's see if I've got this right. Hank Cartwright, evaluating Kuwaza Imara, connect with your audience, speaking better.
Okay. Kuwaza, I thought your speech was excellent, and I thought that it had a very it helped to create interest in the speech, as you mentioned with the engaging title. The title "Speaking Better" is speaking better is something that all of us at this meeting probably want to learn more about. So that's definitely something, that's this is the audience to speak to create a speech about how to speak better. And so right away I was engaged. And although this has nothing to do with you, but for some reason I was having some difficulty with my internet. The sound was going in and out a little bit, so I didn't hear all of your speech, but I feel confident that I heard most of it. Next, I would say that having a speech with talking about the construction of a speech, including the use of humor and the way that you seemed comfortable, you're very comfortable talking about these different tips, was very helpful for just helping us to feel more comfortable with the material. Also, you seemed like you were speaking from experience, and things that you said made sense, and it just seemed to flow very nicely. Also, the clarity, you were making clear points that were easy to follow, and all of that helped to make for a speech that really got the tips across, and helped us to really learn something from your speech. A couple of things that could make it even better are eye contact. It can be difficult with Zoom. Really connecting with eye contact to the listeners, but perhaps looking into the camera a little bit more would help to engage the listeners a little bit more. And also vocal variety. Sometimes maybe changing the tone and energy higher and lower can help to draw us in. Maybe your main points can be, if you either raise your energy or lower your energy with the key points, that can help to really engage the listener even more. And also to really drive home your points, I would say body language would be good. A little bit more body language to really emphasize what you want to emphasize would really help to really make those key points stick. And so overall, I'd say it was excellent. It was engaging. You seemed comfortable and clear. A little bit more eye contact, little vocal variety, and the body language to really emphasize the key points. And I think that would really make that you shine even more. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Hank, for that excellent evaluation of Kuwaza's speech. Okay, evaluator number 2 is Mike Pruitt. Oh, that's me. I am evaluating speaker number 2, Barbara Mariano. Her speech from Presentation Mastery, Research and Presenting, entitled Buddy the Wonder Dog. Well, this project is for the member to learn and review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. I like the way Barbara started off with statistics. Anytime you have some research, there's going to be statistics, right? So that showed that she had done some research and she could share with us that 60% of the people in the US own pets. 65.1 million households. That was interesting. I also loved your story. Everyone loves a story. Stories are great tools to use when you're giving a speech. I liked the story about how this dog was trained to fight and it had a lot of health problems because of its experience in the illegal dog fighting world. Another thing I loved is your pendant that you wore. You had the little necklace with a dog pendant on it. That was perfect for this speech. I like that. And I know you wanted to practice more because we talked about this before, but you did great. It sounded like you had put in a lot of practice. You were very comfortable. Your comfort level was excellent. Now, they ask you if there may be some things you want to work on. You may want to work on your filler sounds, your ahs and your so's. And also it says to challenge yourself. You may want to try working on your vocal variety using tone, speed, volume as tools, and maybe some pauses to get people's attention. Like that. Okay, so all in all, I loved another thing I loved was your smile. You had a great smile. And I love that you educated us about Reiki and about your remote using your intuition remotely to feel what the animal was feeling and come up with some recommendations to do some healing. That was really interesting. So thank you for a great speech. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster. No, Mr. General Evaluator. Oh yeah, that's me. Okay. Now we're ready for evaluator number 3, which is who will be Cassandra. Cassandra will be evaluating Wade Cartwright's speech from evaluation and feedback number 1. Get ready for contest. Cassandra.
Thank you. Dr. Wade, you are a great storyteller. I loved your story. You told within 5 to 7 minutes. We learned so much about you. You gave us that personal touch. You brought into the fact we learned that you were married. You had a baby girl. You were in medical school. That you had friends that you went to medical school with. But in the process, your wife was pregnant. You helped deliver your baby girl with the help of your friends. That you were approximately 20 miles away from the hospital. And in the process of driving to the hospital after your wife had already gone to see her optician, that they sent her home. She called you and said, "No, I'm having this baby, come home." So within 20 minutes, 20 miles away, you were driving her to the hospital and she was delivering that baby. Your friend jumped in the front seat. You were in the back. He was driving, one was holding her hand. And you were like in the back, getting ready to grab that baby when it was coming out. Now, Dr. Wade, in all of that, you had the same tone, Now, I know you were excited. I wanted to hear that excitement, whether that emotion were you were afraid. I know that there was something, some type of excitement in that. I wanted to hear that. You had no medical training. How did you feel, Dr. Wade? That baby was coming? You and your friends was in the car? You said you heard first a weak cry. I know your heart was. I wanted to see some gestures. I wanted to see those emotions that you were feeling. You had the opportunity to show us that. So your stretch goal next time is to show us that. Because the title of your speech was Getting Ready for a Contest. And that's what they want to see. They want to see those emotions. They want to see those gestures. And I know that you can do that. So your stretch goals for the next time is to show us that. And you'll knock it out of the park. But thank you for sharing your story. It was great. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Cassandra, for that profound evaluation. Dr. Wade's speech. I'm sure he can learn some things from that. Okay, it's time for us to get our timers report. Kuwaza, can you give us a timers report?
Well, I most certainly can give a timers report. For our speeches, my speech was 7 minutes and 30 seconds, which if we had been doing contests, would have been right at the time to stop. Barbara, your speech was 7 minutes and 11 seconds. Dr. Wade, your speech was 7 minutes and 22 seconds. For table topics, Mike, yours was 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Dee Marie, you spoke for 1 minute and 19 seconds. Lisa, you spoke for 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Huang, you spoke for 1 minute and 23 seconds. Mohini, you spoke for 2 minutes and 14 seconds. For the evaluations, Hank, you spoke for 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Mike, you spoke for 2 minutes and 47 seconds. And Cassandra, with her very incisive evaluation, spoke for 3 minutes and 26 seconds. And that's our timers report.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kuwaza. Well, I just want to give an overall evaluation. It was a great meeting. We had some wonderful speeches. Thank you for everyone who prepared. Thank you for everyone who jumped in at the last minute to fill out our roles or our agenda. And we're getting to the end of our time here, so I'm going to turn it back to our Toastmaster, Wes Sahai.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We had a great time. I really appreciate each and every one of you. But before we end up our meeting, I would love to ask our guests how they feel about our meeting. Are you come back? Or can you get some feedback from you? Always a room for improvement. I always